Everyone's yelling about AI taking over trading jobs, robots, basically everything. But this week, I dug into 4 stories that completely blew my mind. A trading bot that can allegedly flip a grand into 50 of dad who spent 2.5 years grinding his way onto Sue. Google's AI team Wall Street betting big on Amazon's new chip alliances and the 25 companies Morgan Stanley says are about to dominate the humanoid robot industry. Stick around because this one gets wild. So, I spent the last few days diving through articles, reports, and one absurdly dramatic YouTube investigation. It all started with an AI trading bot that has been making people stare at their phones like they were waiting for lottery numbers. The story goes back to this small Italian team that built a bot that suddenly just blew up online. A financial analyst, Gene P. Fromm, was writing about it, admitting that skepticism is deserved, but pointed out that Forbes had already covered it, highlighting a 331% gain in a single week. That headline alone sent the thing trending. And honestly, who wouldn't click on that? People kept bringing up this one specific moment where the bot turned $3,200 into over $14,000 in just 1 week. And the kicker is, they had receipts, verified trading records, and MIFSEEK's book data to back it up. Then a longer-term test started in July 2025 with just $1,000. By December of that same year, it had made $5,600. That's a 560% gain in about 5 months. Now, it all sounds suspicious until you see multiple reviewers, actual humans. Not just anonymous Reddit users like David Burnett and the YouTube channel Trading Bot Talks dissecting the whole thing. And everyone basically kept saying the same thing. The bot works, but only if you avoid the chaotic, high-risk mode. One early user pulled $580 in their first week using the lowest gear and called it slow, but solid, which might be the first time those 2 words have ever sounded exciting in finance. The bot works by watching market trends and trading automatically. You can choose whether you want it to act like a chill retiree or a caffeinated gremlin on a trading floor. The article's author even did their own test with $1,500. They bought the bot, downloaded MetaTrader 5, and then immediately loaded it onto the wrong currency pair, because of course, that's how these things go. Once they fixed it and set it to conservative mode, the first 4 days were basically a flat line. Up a little, down a little. After 96 hours, the profit was $41.22. Not terrible, but definitely not headline material. Then the aggressive temptation kicked in. They took $500 of the original money and threw it into the max aggressive mode, which apparently fires off trades like it's trying to set a personal speed record. 3 days later, the conservative $1,000 portion had grown by $25. But the aggressive $500 part had jumped to $920. And that's where things get weird. The team behind the bot claims they've seen aggressive mode take $1,000 and flip it into $50,000 in about a month. One long run supposedly showed $5,000 becoming $247,000. It starts looking fake, but when a bot never sleeps and it's taking tiny wins all day long, compounding becomes an absolute monster. Of course, aggressive mode is also how people torch their accounts. It creates the craziest results and also the angriest customer messages. The developers keep repeating the same advice everywhere. Start slow, test the modes, and don't slam the throttle on day 1. They even have an ROI calculator for people who want to see the projections. The whole thing costs anywhere from $750 to $1,900, depending on the package. It's just a one-time fee, with allegedly no sneaky subscriptions. And the funds stay with your own broker, not the developers, which is a detail that weirdly makes people feel a lot safer. There are even rumors that a big US hedge fund wants to buy the algorithm. For now, the bot is still sitting on Galalofts.com, just waiting for the next wave of curious traders. While I was knee-deep in all of this, I stumbled upon another story that felt completely different, but was still wrapped up in the bigger AI universe. This one was about Rahul Kasanagotu, a 32-year-old Google Cloud customer engineer in Austin who specializes in AI. He spent about 2.5 years transitioning into an AI role, all while inside Google. He'd been in customer success, and when the generative AI boom hit, he realized he didn't just want to watch it happen. He wanted to be one of the people shaping how AI gets used. His daughter was born in April 2023 and during his paternity leave. When most people are just trying to get some sleep, he started reading AI and machine learning books. He ended up powering through 11 books, a bunch of videos, several hands-on courses, and around 4 to 5 job interviews before he finally landed his spot on a Google AI team. His new role involves building demos and teaching customers how to use Google's AI tools, and he says the learning curve is non-stop because the tech changes basically every single morning. The books that really stuck with him were Chip Wien, SAI Engineering and Designing Machine Learning Systems, Martin Kleppmann's Designing Data-Intensive Applications and Hands-on Large Language Models by Jay Alamir. He also read Generative AI on AWS and the heavyweight deep learning textbook by Goodfellow, Bengio, and Kervill. A few others he mentioned were competing in the age of AI: Prediction Machines, Power and Prediction, Genesis, and Deep Medicine. He said the 2 Chip Wien books were his favorites because they made the applied world of AI finally click for him. Rahul mentioned that Power and Prediction completely changed how he thinks about tech scaling. Using the example that if light bulbs still cost thousands of dollars, we'd all still be using candles. Genesis also stood out to him because of how it covers future AI challenges. He took Andrew Ng's deep learning specialization. Ng, being the founder of Google Brainant, watched tons of 3 blue, 1 brown videos to understand the math behind neural networks. But the biggest unlock, he said, was realizing he needed his own hands-on projects. The courses had exercises, but the books didn't, and hiring managers wanted proof that he could actually build something. He says the only reason he could juggle his job, all that learning, and raising a newborn was because Google's culture supported it, and his wife sacrificed a ton of her own time so he could study. While all of that was happening, a completely separate set of analysts at Bank of America were looking at Amazon SHO's reInvent event and basically yelling bull market alert. They think Amazon doubling down on AI is going to lift several chip stocks with it. NVIDIA was the least surprising name on the list. Everyone knows NVIDIA has been eating well thanks to AI, but the details were interesting. Amazon and NVIDIA announced a multi-year partnership centered on NVIDIA's NVLink Fusion Interconnect tech, which lets different AI chips talk to each other at insanely high bandwidths. The Buffett analyst, Vivek Arya, tossed out a $275 price objective for NVIDIA based on their earnings projections. He thinks it's justified because NVIDIA controls so much of the growing AI compute and networking market. Year-to-date at the time, NVIDIA was up about 34%. Astera Labs, a Fables's chipmaker, was up 23% for the year, but actually dipped after the NVIDIA partnership was announced. People thought Unveiled Fusion might replace their tech. But Arya said that fear might be premature because Amazon and NVIDIA ramping up together could increase demand for multiple chip designers, not eliminate them. Then there's AMD, up 78% year-to-date, which Amazon has been working with for a long time. AWS didn't name AMD specifically during the event, but Arya says AMD still believes it's locked in for several massive AI deployments. Marvell Technology was also on the list, even though it was down 10% for the year, because it has a huge portfolio of data center networking components that are basically the plumbing of AI infrastructure. And Credo Technology Group, up a staggering 158%, got a nod for its high-speed connectivity work. And then things got even bigger. I stumbled into a Morgan Stanley research note about humanoid robots. Their analysts dropped a list of 25 companies they believe will dominate the humanoid robot race, a market they estimate will be worth more than $5 trillion by 2050. The point wasn't just here. are the companies building robots, but rather, here are the companies making the chips, sensors, cameras, and perception tech that will go inside all the robots. They said more than 1 billion humanoid robots could be deployed worldwide by 2050. But adoption is going to be slow until at least 2035 because the tech still needs major refinement. They mentioned Tesla's Optimus robot, which Elon Musk thinks could eliminate poverty and grow the global economy tenfold. Tesla apparently wants to begin mass production by the end of next year, though they haven't shared how many units they're planning. Meanwhile, China's robotics industry has over 150 companies fighting to get their humanoids out first, and regulators there already warned the country might be forming a bubble. NVIDIA, Samsung, AMD, ARM, Texas Instruments, and a ton of other semiconductor giants made the list, along with names like Hesai, a Chinese LiDAR company whose sensors could give humanoid robots better navigation and awareness. Synopsys, a semiconductor design company, also got a spotlight, especially with NVIDIA announcing a $2 billion investment in them on December 1st. All four of these stories basically landed on the same message. AI is accelerating in every single direction in trading, in our personal careers, in cloud infrastructure, and in robotics. And the stakes are climbing just as fast as the technology. Thanks for hanging out. More deep dives coming soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.